Can you hear me? I hope I can hear you this time. All right, I'm going to add you. Let's see. All right, so you can hear me. It's just fingers crossed. Hopefully, we can hear Philip.
Now?
I'm wearing my earphones.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. How about you? Are you wearing your earphones?
Yes, I'm wearing. Yes, I am. I am wearing my headphones.
Okay.
My earphones.
Okay. So, all right, good.
Greetings and salutations.
Yes, greetings and salutations. I'm going to try on my end to take off the earphones, okay?
Okay.
So, just hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, and I can hear you perfectly. So, all right, good. So, everyone, welcome back to Celebrating Our Music. I have my guest, as you can see him on the screen. It's Philip Mweemba. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Thank you for being like the first person to pronounce my name properly, because like every place I've ever been to, except like every place out of Zambia, it's always been like, oh, is your name Philip Mweemba? I'm like, no, it's Mweemba. It rhymes with remember, December, pretender, if you will.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yes, that's
so
good.
Good. I'm pleased because sometimes I'm not so great with names, you know. Anyway, so we're back with Celebrating Our Music. I have my guest, Philip Mweemba. If in case you don't know who he is, we're doing this on IG Live, but it will go to YouTube and then it will go to my podcast. Just check the description box and you will find links to Philip Mweemba's socials, and then you can go and check out more info on him. Okay, I'm going to get straight into my questions, if that's okay with you.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah. All
No
right.
problem at all.
Thanks for coming on to Celebrating Our Music. I've said that already. Why don't you just give us a quick, brief intro? Who is Philip Mweemba? What do you do?
Well, who is Philip Mweemba? I was born in Lusaka, Zambia, 1998. That was 22 years ago, almost 23 years ago. I was born on March 8th. Sorry if I'm talking fast. It's I rap too much, so it's yeah. I by my own, I guess, my own what's the word? My own critique. I'm an excellent rapper, very very good. But rapping wasn't the first thing I was ever good at. It was drawing and like making little cartoons in my notebooks at school. That was the first thing I was ever good at. And
Yeah.
rap when I started rapping when I was about 9, but I did not know how to make a song at all. I didn't know how to like I didn't know the process of of the process of making songs and music and all that stuff. So I just like wrote like every like 4 lines all the time in my notebooks. And then when I learned how to
Yeah.
make songs, that's when I started okay, I need to learn how to do this properly. So Philip Mweemba is a very talented rapper. I can do many things. I can play piano. I can I can do impressions as well, like
Yes.
very good impressions. And what else? I can improv act as well. So I can do a lot of things.
What? Could you repeat that? The last bit?
Improv, improv acting.
Improv. Yes. Very good. Okay, I'm going to ask you a little bit about that later on in the interview, okay? So thank you for that intro. And, I didn't know about the drawing or the piano. So interviews are great because then you get to know more about the artist, no? So tell me a bit about your music. When did you start your career? How many albums or mixtapes have you made? Or have you released to date?
I started one thing I've always wondered. I've always asked myself, when exactly did I start? Like, when did it pop into my head that okay, I want to do music? And I can't find an answer because like I can't remember. I was always a fan of music, but the moment when I decided,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I want to do, was like I cannot remember. I cannot remember. All I know is I was really young. But I remember when I made my first song. Like when I was like, okay, I need to make my first song. I was 13. It was almost 10 years ago. Like it's gonna be 10 years this year when I released my first song.
Yeah.
I was such a baby because I remember listening. I was like listening to it like this morning. I was listening to it, like I was like, wow, I was really young because my voice didn't break. My voice didn't become like the way it is until I was like 18. But it was very like
Yeah.
really high, and I sounded just like Eminem because like he was a rapper I was always listening to at the time. So since my voice was really high, I sounded just like him, and obviously
Yeah.
I was listening to him a lot. But it was 2011. I wrote my first song in July of 2011, but then I didn't release it until like November because I was still like
Mm-hmm.
I was like really nervous. I was like, should I release this? But then I was like, nah, let me just release it. And then I released it on there was this thing called Hawkshare. It was like before I knew about Spotify, Apple Music, and even SoundCloud. Because I used to ask people like, yo, where can I put my songs? Because I just have a song here. So then my friend told me about Hawkshare, and then I just dropped it there, and then I just thought nothing of it. I just put it there, and then the next day I was like, I just found 250 downloads, and I was like surprised, like, why actually like this song? Because I sounded goofy on it. But I was really good. Surprisingly, I was like really good. Like the only problem is like since it's myself and knowing how good I've gotten in the past 10 years, like I was
Yeah.
like listening, I was listening. I'm like, wow, I was like such a baby. But my flow was on point. I'm not gonna lie, my flow was really on point. But
Yeah.
and the beat I've every song that I've released, more like only a few I've made all the beats to. From that first
Yeah.
one to the ones I released last year, I made all those
Yeah.
beats because
Wow.
I'm a very picky person. So when someone asks me, Philip, do you need beats? And I'm like, okay, let me listen to them. And then I listen to them. And I'm like, I can't rap on any of these because it's not really my default. It's not really my
Yeah.
default. So I just make my own because I know exactly what I want, and I know exactly what I want to rap on and what I want my song to sound like. So I make almost all
Mm-hmm.
my beats. But then I have a few friends who I work with. One's name is Chulu and one's name is Charles, but he goes by Chizembekezo. They're like my go to producers. That if I need like a sample, I'm like I just hit them up and they send it over like really like ASAP. Like as soon as I ask, they're just like, okay, I have something for you. Just send it over to me, and then I start building it on my DAW, which is a digital audio workspace. And I just send it back to them so they can finish it, and then they send it back to me so I can record on it. So that was like 2011. That was when I made my first song. But
Yeah.
I didn't release my first mixtape like a body of work until 2016. But
Yeah.
before that, like during that time period, I was still learning how to rap and learning how
Mm-hmm.
to like and becoming better and
Mm-hmm.
like always writing and always writing and always writing. But then I was like, okay, let me just make a mixtape. It was supposed to come out in 2015, but I had to like
Yeah.
finish high school first
Yeah.
so I can like really focus because I was just deep into academic stuff because I had to graduate. I
Mm-hmm.
graduated in 2016. I was about 18 at the time, and I released my first mixtape November 25th. And speaking of the mixtape, I in all honesty, it felt rushed. I felt like I rushed it when I go back and listen to it. I like most of the beats weren't even mine. I was rapping on I was rapping on a Dr. Dre beat, on Jay Z and Kanye West beat, on like an
Yeah.
Eminem beat, and then the rest were just mine. Like the rest were just like my songs I made prior, and I just
Yeah.
took them onto them to like flesh out the whole thing. It's like 11 songs, and
Yeah.
it's still there on. I think it's on my SoundCloud. Yeah, it's still there on my Sound. I can't delete those songs because maybe someone who's like a new fan wants to like go back to my old stuff. They can go listen to it, but
Yeah.
it's not on streaming platforms because copyright and all that stuff. I don't want to get like DMCA. So
Yeah.
everything is just on SoundCloud. But there was like a phase in high school that I was going through where I was like really studying like hip hop as if it was like a subject at school because
Mm-hmm.
I remember having different phases of like, oh, I sound like this rapper, I sound like this rapper, I sound like this rapper, and
Yeah.
the rappers I was like every rapper who's finding their sound always sound
Yeah.
like they sound like a certain rapper at a certain point in time. Earlier on, I sounded just like Eminem, like exactly like him from like 1999, and then later on, I started sounding like Rakim, like this old school rapper who many of like the biggest rappers right now are influenced by. Sounded just like Rakim,
Mm-hmm.
like Slick Rick, and then somehow it came as my voice matured. I started to sound
Yeah.
like all of them combined. So I'm one of those rappers who is a student of I'm a student of the art form. Like I love
Yeah.
hip hop like a lot. I had to go back. Like I'm 22 years old, but I'm studying rappers who came out when my mom was a teenager. When my mom was like 10 years old. Like Eric B and Rakim, Slick Rick,
Yeah.
who else? Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, all those rappers from the 80s, and I'm studying them. I'm like learning from them. And then
Yeah.
I went to the 90s, and then I realized something when I started studying 90s rappers. That's when I became more like very good like with writing, because the 90s in was like the most skilled era of hip hop, because we had
Yeah.
Nas, we had Jay-Z, we had Nas, Jay-Z, Wu-Tang Clan, who else? Who else? That's Eminem as well blew up then. Who else? KRS-One, all those rappers I was studying. I was
Mm-hmm.
listening, and I started like practicing writing rhymes. I realized that I was getting more good at like writing and like rhymes, like because I'm not someone who I'm not that type of rapper. That just rhymes cat, bat, hat, sat. I like to go uh laundromat, hypochondriac. Like I stack as many rhymes on top of each other as possible, and
Yeah.
like for example in my song 8 p.m. in Nairobi, the first line, the first 8 lines are just rhymes on top of rhymes on top of rhymes, because I go perfected my rhyme schemes at 19, making minds bleed and flowing nicely and tightly. It constantly changes and shape shifts like Kylie. Oh my, this is a gold
Yeah.
mine. I'm showing no signs of slowing. I might be going until I'm 90. I wish you try me. Need I remind thee? I'm too gifted, smooth with it. I'm fluid like Tai Chi. Like most of those words
Yeah.
rhyme. Most of them rhyme, and that's like that. That
Yes.
just became my style at the point. But then, at the same time, they also make sense, because I know rappers. I know there are a lot of rappers that go lyrical, miracle, spiritual, individual, criminal, subliminal, in the swimming pool. I know, and it doesn't really make sense at all. But then me, I have to like every line has to like follow. Like I want to make like every song as easy to follow as like a conversation like between you and I. Like it's as easy to follow. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm rapping about, oh, I'm rapping about this, I'm rapping about that, I'm not rapping about this, I'm rapping about that. Nah, I always have a topic. Like if I'm
Yes.
sticking to I have to stick to a topic. Like, and I've noticed something about myself. My songs, the more topical ones that I'm rapping about, like something that's dear to me, like an emotion or an experience. I don't use double
Yeah.
entendres. I realize that only the songs just just rapping really fast, like on hype. I don't
Mm-hmm.
hype doesn't really have a topic. I'm just rapping. But a song like Nocturnal Thoughts, it's a very topical song where I'm like being very introspective, and I found like that good medium, because if I'm rapping about something I've experienced, I find it hard to use double entendres or double meanings or wordplays. I just go straight and like almost like a story. Like I'm telling a story. Like I felt this way, I felt that way. I was thinking about this at the time. I was thinking of a million
Yeah.
rhymes at the same time. I'm so like my thought my this thing happened to me and it was so sublime. All that stuff. Like I just it has to be like there's no really like I feel like I'm doing backflips on a track, like I know like on hype. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's just how I am when it comes
Okay.
to like
I
song
have
approach.
more.
Sorry, I've been talking for too long.
No,
I
no,
just go
no,
on and
no.
on and on
I
and
mean,
on.
no. It's good. It's good because then we get to know you. We get to know who inspires you. Because,
Of course.
and that's important. That's important. Okay.
Okay.
Um. Okay. So I want to. You've mentioned 8 p.m. in Nairobi. You've talked about a few other songs. Um, out of all the songs that you've released, for example, What We Can Hear, I listened a lot to your work on Apple Music, because I mean that's what I have on my mobile phone, and it's easier for me. Um, so the project that you have on Apple Music, yeah, I want to know um, if out of any of those that you've released on Apple Music, which one is your favorite? Do you have one that you're like, oh, this one, I really really like this one?
Um, like I mentioned earlier, I'm like very picky. So um, if I'm gonna pick a favorite song of mine off of that project, and it's like a compilation project. So
Yes.
like an official project, so an official project. But um, I guess I have to say APM in Nairobi, and because there's a reason for that. It's because from the first song from 2011, that's like my first ever song, like that I ever made,
Yes.
like
Itty
recorded.
itty bitty bites.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know, like when I was coming up with, when I was really young, so I couldn't, I didn't really know how to like name my song. So I was just like, I just named something. I was just mumbling like while I was recording, because and I did the whole song in one take. I didn't really know how to like break up different parts of the song to like work on. I just recorded the whole thing like in one take in my mom's room because the acoustics was really good, and I just recorded on her laptop with like my headphones with like the mic. But I have to pick my favorite song. I have to pick APM and RB because it's my most it's actually my most recent song that I recorded because
Yes.
I recorded Hype before APM in Nairobi and I just released it after because I normally do this thing where like I and also originally it was over Drake's 8 p.m. I'm sorry, it was over Drake's 6 p.m. in New York. The beat that I originally recorded APM and Nairobi on. I just put my vocals on the new beat that I made and I recorded it after I recorded Hype because like I said I do this thing where like I put out before I put out an original song I usually rap on
Yeah.
another person's beat just to like create like a buzz or some hype, no pun intended. But
Yeah.
yeah, I have to pick APM and Nairobi because like, okay, like for my first song, that's my most recent. So if you want to like listen to the growth, and it's like it showcases my growth from 10 years ago, from my first song to today. It's like it
Yeah. That's
shows this is
actually,
how much I've grown.
yeah. That's one of the things I want to ask you actually, because we're talking about, in case someone is wondering, I'm talking to Philip Mweemba. He's a Zambian rapper. He does improvs. He does. I'm going to ask you about it just now, but he's done some pretty cool stuff. So we're talking about where it all began till now. His compilation on Apple Music, and I'm really really happy that you put all the music in one,
One
I
album.
guess you could call it one album, because I went a couple of last year I went to your Apple page and I was trying to like find music because I had this playlist where I would pick content from artists, from Zambian artists, and I would just put like a whole album.
Everything
And
together.
when I went to yours, it was like one song, one song, one song. So when I went back today, I was really, really happy that it was just everything was in one place. So that I want to congratulate you
Thank
about that.
you.
And I figured because my question was going to be where it all began till now. I mean, it's pretty obvious from the name. What's the project about? You've already touched on that, but if you want to talk about it, like what
The
made
project
you say, okay, let's put all of this in one place?
I don't know. I when I came up with the idea, that was like that was after I released Hype. That was like in September. I was trying to like find old songs of mine on my laptop, and I came across a few. But then I couldn't. Some didn't make the project because of I didn't rap on. They're not my beats that I was rapping on. So I had to just pick the original ones. But I was also thinking about putting the ones that didn't make the whole thing on SoundCloud. But then I wanted like to focus on the more original stuff because when I was younger I realized that I was asking myself when I was younger why wasn't I just rapping on my own beats, you know? But then I realized I think it was because I was still trying to like find a voice. You know,
Yeah.
trying to find the style that I'm comfortable with. Because I used to just rap over Dr. Dre beats, over Eminem beats. But then right now I'm actually really scared to rap on Eminem beats because of how good I've gotten. So um, when I came up with the idea for that in September, and I just started looking for my old songs on my laptop, and then I just put them all together, and
Yeah.
I released it 2 day. It was a day after Holstar's album. I didn't want to like I wanted like that day to be his, and then put mine afterwards. Because I wanted like to him to have his day. So he's
Yeah.
have his project release. I dropped that on the next day. So, and I was thinking of a title. Originally, the title was How It All Began. How it like that was like it was just how it all began. That was like the title. But then it now
Yeah.
it morphed into where it all began, because and then that's why I got the idea of putting the dates: 2011, 2014, 2016, 2016, 2016, 2017, 2019, and 2020. And yeah, basically that's like, and because albums, like I think a lot of artists will tell you that every time they have an album in mind, it goes through different phases. Like
Yeah.
the entire track list could even change. Like the artist can just like, I'm not really feeling this. Let me just go rewrite every song and just put it out. And also the title of the thing of the project, like the project might change. And
Yeah.
I just stuck with where it all began to now, because the person who's listening can be like, oh, okay, this is where it all began. Okay, let's pick the first track. Oh, no, it becomes 2011. Okay, people listening. Okay, this is 2014, 2016. Oh, his voice is getting deeper. Oh, 2017. Okay, this was like 19 at the time, and then up to now, like, oh, this is how good it's gotten. Hmm, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Like that, I want
Okay.
to like give the listener that like impression of like basically me growing up before your ears. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I imagined it was that, but it's good to hear it from you. So, I mean, if you could tell someone right now, like if you were on a let's imagine this is a radio show, and I tell you, what 2 or 3 songs do you recommend, or what song do you recommend we play for our listeners? What should they hear from that compilation? What do you think they
From
should
the
like
compilation,
go to first, play
I
first?
think go to first. From the compilation, I think you would have to pick um, maybe fried chicken. Fried
Okay.
chicken,
I
because
listened to that, and
yeah, because yeah, like I was like how I write my songs. I don't like put a title first before I write the song. I just go into writing, and then what I'm reading, or like, okay, I just love a title. And when it came to that song, I didn't have a title. It didn't have a title. I was just making up the chorus, and then like, oh, I'm just gonna put that as the hook, and that's how it became.
we
And
lost you there for a moment. Hold on. We lost you there for a moment. Could you repeat that? When you write a beat, what?
when I write a song, I don't like put a title before I start writing the lyrics. I just start writing, like, whatever I'm like I'm writing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm like, okay, I'm getting up a title. And also, how I write my songs, I don't just start with like I don't just start writing. I put down like ideas, like rhyme schemes, the way I'm feeling, like, because I have to like write down my thoughts so I can like focus on that same thing. And I even have
Mm-hmm.
my rhyme book. I have my rap book here. My book of rhymes.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is just like some ideas that I wrote down. I just put them all,
Yeah.
like, they're not
Don't
actual
don't, don't
songs.
share all of them. Don't share all of them.
No, I just want to do it to like see like how I write my rhyme. But I don't like start writing immediately. Like, I just put words
Yeah.
together. Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like I'm decoding it. It's almost like I'm decoding it. And like putting puzzles, like pieces of a puzzle together. And whatever
Yeah.
I don't use, I'll just like put it to the side, and then I'll come back to it later. And
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
Okay.
But I
Um.
think I think playing sorry I think playing fried chicken and 8 p.m. in Nairobi, because those are
Yeah.
two different moods. I think fried chicken, I'm just having fun on the beat, but then 8 p.m. in Nairobi, like, the reason why I titled it that is because I wrote it like literally when I was in Nairobi in in July, like I was just in my room just writing, and then I just looked at the time. I was like, oh, it's 8 p.m. And then I was like, okay, let me just rap over it. Let me just spit it over Drake 6 p.m. in New York, because the beat fit that time I was writing. So I just went to my mic and just started recording it over 8 p.m. and over the 6 p.m. in New York beat, and then that's how it became.
Yeah.
It was like this internal monologue, like an internal monologue, like where my thoughts are at this moment, like 8 p.m. right now. What was the time? 8:25. That was the exact time I wrote the whole song.
You said it. Yeah, I heard
I said
it.
it at the end. I looked at my watch. I was like, it's 8 p.m. in 8:25 in Nairobi right now. That was when everything was like created, and
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. Let me quickly ask you some of the other questions that I have. Okay. So, I mean, some of these you've already covered. I want to know. You do rap. You also do voiceovers and impressions. Um, so how do you think you've evolved? Doing those things. Because you've been doing it for a while, no? So how do you think how would you say, I mean, the rap you've talked about, you said that I've really changed, my voice hadn't broken. You talked a lot about the rap, but how about impressions? Like, because did you say how soon? What was your first impression?
Impressions. I think I was always good at impressions. Like because
Okay.
growing up, like I was just into cartoons all the time. All the time, I was just watching cartoons every day after school. After I did my homework, I'll just rush to the TV and just like watch cartoons. And
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on. Could you remove your mic and let's see if you talk and if I can hear you? Because there's a sound, there's like
can you
a
hear me?
clapping. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
That's perfect.
I'll just hold it like this.
Oh,
I
great.
was always like, I just used to watch cartoons all the time when I was young, and then
Yeah.
I just started learning how to. I was just like repeating what they would say, exactly how they would say it, and
Yeah.
but I didn't really take it seriously until I was like 14. Like that was like
Yeah.
I was like 14. I was like, okay, I'm really good at like doing voices, and
Yeah.
I used to watch this comedian. His name is Pablo Francisco. Like while as he's doing his comedy bit, he will be putting impressions like as he's talking. You know, what's this one he was doing? Like for the trailer voice that you hear in the movies that used like the trailer for the movies that used to come out before 2015, because I don't know why they stopped putting like voices. Like for example, he would go like, in the beginning they took what was precious to him and left him to die. No, they say you are what you eat. Then get ready. This summer he's back, Pablo Francisco. Like that was something he would always do, and
Yeah.
I was like, let me try that, and I did it perfectly. And also like there's this actor that he does an impression of. His name is Gary Busey. He's like from Texas. Like he'll be like, hey man, you want to get a beer with me, man? Hell yeah, something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
let me try that as well. And I did it perfectly. I don't know. And then I realized that I have this thing called like a tonal, like it's like people with photographic memory. What they see sticks in their head, but for me, what I listen to sticks in my head because I can recreate a sound. That's something that helps me when I'm like making a song, because I
Yeah.
have to like mumble like melody, and then
Yeah.
I'll remember it and I'll just like play it on the piano, like so I can like figure out where the notes are, because I that's how